Nithyanandam, I welcome all the Sri Mahants, Kotaris, Tanedas, all the people in the Rajya Sabha, all the viewers in Facebook Live, YouTube Live and Nithyananda TV, and all the cities who are connected with us on two-way video conferencing for this first ever conducted webinar by the Balasans of the Nithyananda Gurukul. This webinar for the first time is conducted by the kids, for the kids, specifically aimed to give the kids the understanding of what real life has to be lived and how Swamiji is giving that in the Nithyananda Gurukul. My name is Sri Nithya Sundareshwarananda and I am in the Nithyananda Gurukul and continuously being trained by Swamiji for the past 8 years. And today, on behalf of the Nithyananda Gurukul, I will be hosting the whole webinar and presenting to you the various aspects of the Nithyananda Gurukul. So before we start off with the webinar, Nithyananda Gurukul, the place, Nithyananda Gurukul actually, it's not like a general school, like how you can say we go to the school, we come back, we study something, we learn some moral values and keep going. No. Like how we saw in the video, Swamiji has taken so many initiatives to revive the whole Vedic tradition, and his most passionate and his most loving, the most closest to his heart, the initiative to that is the Nithyananda Gurukul. And Swamiji is not just growing the kids in the Nithyananda Gurukul to be some successful people, successful leaders. It's not just that, but the very reason for having the Nithyananda Gurukul and Swamiji standing by it and he pouring his whole life and energy into it is to create new species of being on this planet Earth who manifest the state, space and the powers of Mahasadashiva. In this webinar, we are going to be seeing what is that really Nithyananda Gurukul is all about. Why do we need new species? Why suddenly all this has come up? Why is Swamiji giving so much of importance to Nithyananda Gurukul? Many of you who are new to this, for all of you also, what I want to tell is Nithyananda Gurukul is something which is there just for the evolution, for giving the superconscious breakthrough to the whole humanity. Long, long ago, when the existence came in place, when the creation happened, when the Srishti happened, a single-celled amoeba was what was present. Then, over millions of years, the single-celled amoeba had a breakthrough, a physical breakthrough, and became a fish, which is a multicellular organism. It was a physical breakthrough. After that, the fish had a physical and a mental breakthrough. That is when, a few million years later, it became a monkey. Then came the era where the monkey evolved into human beings. That is the physical, mental, and the conscious breakthrough. But the stagnation happened where the next evolution did not take place. Humanity is stuck, at least I can say was stuck in this human era till 1978. And it is after 1978, the avatar has landed, Paramahamsa Nithyananda has landed to give the super conscious breakthrough from human to superhuman to become Mahasadashiva himself. The whole core, what is so special about Gurukul? Yes, Swamiji is giving these various powers, the science of enlightenment, the science of manifesting powers the state, the space of Sadashiva. He's sharing it with all. But what is it so special about Nithyananda Gurukul? Understand, Nithyananda Gurukul is the place, is the core where this whole science is flowering and manifesting itself as a whole reality. It is the vision for Swamiji, for Nithyananda Gurukul, is creating a new species where not just mentally, not just by the words, not just by the communications, not even by just the powers, but Swamiji has told the very DNA in your cell, the very DNA of your body will change, showing that a new species has been evolved. So this is the amount of development and the amount of energy, emphasis Swamiji is having on the Nithyananda Gurukul. And now we have understood, or we are trying to comprehend what is that Swamiji is doing. But we need to actually understand where are we in the ground reality. When Swamiji is here speaking so much, and when he is giving so much, such a high vision, but where the whole humanity is standing. We all have seen in the news. How many of you have seen in the news where kids are committing suicides, kids are not able to study, cope up with their examinations, kids having teenage problems, relationship issues, fighting with their parents, not able to have a stable relationship, not knowing what to do in their life, just going behind drugs. How many of you have seen? There are so many. In your own life, if you see, you have seen people, your own relatives, your own family members, your friends, who have faced all this. But what do we do? As a whole humanity basis, if you see, as a collective consciousness, if we see, the whole humanity has hit the rock bottom. Why am I saying this? I'll give you a simple example. Just listen to this carefully. How many of you have gone for amusement rides or roller coaster rides or some horror movies? Can I have your participation? Can I have your hands raised? Yes? Okay. So, how many of you have taken your kids in this roller coaster rides or where you have a high adrenaline push? Raise your hands. Okay, quite a few of you. Now, one thing that I want to tell in this is, when you go through something like that, where you need a high amount of adrenaline release or a hormonal release for you to get excited, understand clearly, listen to this. If you have to really need such a high amount of hormonal release for something to excite you, once that high adrenaline release happens, all the lower level pleasures, the joys of relationship, the joys of friendship, everything will get destroyed. How many of you are able to understand what I'm saying? Once you go for the extreme, then all the regular things becomes just irrelevant to you. Same way, you've gone for a horror movie, you have seen some horror movie. In the bed, you are coming and sleeping in the night, the window is open, slowly the air flows in, and there's a slight smell and anklet sound is heard. What happens? Immediately it frightens. Yes, we are all laughing at it. But at that point, what happens? Even adults as such, we get scared. But what happens to the consciousness of the kid? He goes through a certain damage, a permanent damage, where he feels the whole life is there to exploit him, to take him away, to destroy him. That is how he will feel. But if this whole lifestyle is not this way, and it is not fear-based or greed-based. See, this is one category of people that I am speaking about. The next category of people that I want to speak about, there are many people who are successful. How many of your kids are successful in sports, successful in academics? There are quite a few of you. But yes, they are successful. But are they happy? Do they have stable relationships? Do they have stable relations even among parents? Now, the sad state is that we have started living in a life where everything has become virtual. Practically, there is no communication that happens, no interaction that happens. 10 years ago, my life, I am sharing from my life. 10 years ago in the streets, I am from Hyderabad. So in the streets of Hyderabad, 10 years ago, when I was there, every day night, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we used to gather. All the kids in the street used to gather, play some games, play either cricket, basketball, or badminton, hide and seek, running, something like that, which continuously kept us engaged. But when I look back at my life, and if I go back to the same place now, the age, this generation does not have any of that. The only thing they know is, even if they are just beside each other in their house, the only thing they do is have a TV screen in front of them, a device, a phone, or a tablet in front of them, and keep pressing it. That is all it is. Right from the age of 3, it starts. Isolation takes place. Yes, you might be successful, but what is the use of success in any field? We need to understand this is where the current society is. How many of you are getting what I am saying? Because it is very important that we understand where is that we are right now. And one of the very important reasons, if you see, the rate of obesity has increased, blood pressure has increased, child hypertensions have increased. Why? Because of no interaction with life and nobody to guide what is right, what is wrong. Half the people, at least in India, first they decide, let me become engineer, let me become doctor, after that let me think what I am going to do. Yes or no? How many of you lived your life like that? Let me first become one of this, then after that I will decide. See among yourself. But the worst situation is that already quarter of your life is over. 25 to 30 years of your life is over. And you have not even known what you are going to become. Whether it is successful people, they run based on greed, where they want to achieve something, give up their health, give up their relationships, give up everything just for some name, fame that they get. And people who run based on fear become completely insensitive. And that is the reason drugs and now this blue whale game, which came very recently, it became such a popular thing. Why? Because it is so life negative and kids immediately get attracted to it. You understand, the situation right now is only that amount of extremeness is even going to excite kids. Even the regular games is not going to excite. If we have to stop all this, the one and only solution is Nithyananda Gurukul. Why Nithyananda Gurukul? Understand, the lifestyle of the Balasans in the Nithyananda Gurukul is completely celebration based. And every single thing that we do is nothing to do with fear or greed. We are just eliminated from those two components of fear and greed. So the only reason why we are successful in something or why we are doing something is because Swamiji is there and he is inspiring us continuously, and the only reason for us to exist is to celebrate our existence and just enjoy life. And very importantly, we also need to understand, see, as parents, always we want to give the best to our kids. Yes or no? As parents, the first thing, our whole life is only, let me give the best to my kid. At least I have missed many things, but let my child experience anything. All this, let him go through everything. Let him not make the mistakes that I made. How many of you are in this same thing, that you want to give the best to your children? Raise your hands. Now, the sad part of this is, the best part is you want to give the best, but the sad part is you yourself don't know what is the best. Many times we land up giving the kids what is pleasant but not what is right. Giving what is pleasant might make the kid happy at that point, but is going to destroy his life further. But giving what is right is going to empower him. And the only way right now, the situation in which we are, the parents themselves feel, most of the parents feel that they themselves have not lived a complete life. When you yourself have not lived a complete life, then what is the best solution you can give is Nithyananda Gurukul, where Swamiji teaches what is right, emphasizes what is right, and makes what is right pleasant, and makes every kid successful in their life. And That is the strength of the Nithyananda Gurukul. Be it any situation. See, once we come into Nithyananda Gurukul, all these problems, see, outside regular problems like bullying, peer pressure, and fighting, violence, comparison, jealousy, all these are huge problems outside. But in Gurukul, they are just irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Because there is no question of fear or greed. And so even the tasks, like either passing your 10th grade or taking some high IQ examinations, passing some competitive examinations, getting into competitions, and all that is just a cakewalk. Like you need to know, the 10th grade in Gurukul, we have kids who are just finishing it at the age of 12, 13 with flying scores. We are just able to, just like that, crack. And it's the International Board of Education. And just like that, it's no question of having some fear of taking examination or anything like that. Just one initiation from Swamiji and we do it. And every kid, the average intelligence, IQ of every kid in Nithyananda Gurukul is 120, which is everybody on an average is extraordinary, beyond ordinary. So that is how it is. So any kid who even comes into this place starts manifesting their life that way, and immediately they start mirroring the neurons and lift up to that space. The whole thing is about whenever you do something, it is about the confidence that you have in your life. When you are confident that you can do something, then you do it. But when you don't have the confidence, that is when you fall into low moods and mood swings. Now, when Swamiji initiates us into these powers and Shaktis of Mahasadashiva, and when we start manifesting the powers of Sadashiva, the first thing that happens is, I can manifest the reality that I want. See, it is not about getting some stone in your hand, or it's not about closing your eyes and walking, closing your eyes and reading, or seeing something somewhere. Why? For all that we have got our devices, we have two eyes. The whole reason of manifesting powers is to give you the solid experience that you can manifest the reality that you want. And every single kid in the Nithyananda Gurukul is personally trained. Their future is personally carved by Swamiji, whether they are going to become a prime minister, or they're going to become the Madhadipati of a particular mutt, or they're going to become the Shankaracharya of some place, or whatever, their future is carved, and every single decision is moved towards that. So now, without any further delay, let me give you the experience of what it is manifesting these powers and manifesting the state of Sadashiva. I now welcome the Balasans of the Nithyananda Gurukul to come up on stage and manifest and entangle with each of you and give the experience of Mahasadashiva. So all of you, I request you, it is very important, use this opportunity to, you also will be able to start manifesting these powers. So I request the Balasans to now come up on the stage. Move back. So here we have with us the Balasans from the Nithyananda Gurukul, and we are now going to be manifesting, demonstrating, showing the Apta Pramana which we have experienced in our life to all of you and make it as a Shakshi Pramana for all of you. So here we have with us Sri Nitya Ajarananda Maharaj, and he is one of the Balasans. Let me give a brief introduction about each of them. So Ajara Maharaj is one of the most enthusiastic, most passionate, and one of the most creative Balasans in the Nithyananda Gurukul. When he takes up anybody who is just around him in his space, just by being around him, understands the depth. Once he does something with his passion, understands the depth with which he gets into it and learns and becomes part of it itself. So that is one quality unique to Ajara Maharaj. Next, we have with us Sri Nitya Brahmasukhananda Maharaj. He is one of the Balasans who is being right from the time he knew who he is growing in the laps of Swamiji. Brahmasukha Maharaj, right from the age of 3, has been here living around Swamiji and personally being groomed by him. And he is one of the most intelligent balasans who, when decides to do something, nothing can stop. He will go to any extreme to make what he has said, to what he has committed, happen. So that is one very unique quality for Brahmasukha Maharaj. Next, we have with us Sri Nithya Tattvananda Maharaj. And Tattvananda Maharaj is one of the main faces of Nithyananda Gurukul, where right from the young age, understanding the highest truths of what Swamiji reveals, right from the age of 8, 9, 10, from those ages, understanding what Swamiji is living and digesting it, internalizing and start living that as a practical life. Tattva Maharaj at the age of 13 ran the whole Nithyanandeshwara Sadashiva Golden Temple all by himself right at the age of 13. And he has gone to the world tour manifesting all the powers of Sadashiva and giving this experience of Sadashiva to all whoever is in his presence. One very unique quality about Tattva Maharaj is whoever is in his presence, they just feel so attracted to him because of his such a friendly space. So any new person just like that becomes a best buddy with Tattva Maharaj. Next, we have with us Ma Nithya Shivaparananda. She is a Bharasant in Nithyananda Gurukul, and one of her unique qualities of Ma Nithya Shivaparananda is her will to do what she has committed in spite of facing whatever situation happens in the life. When she decides to do something and when she decides to align back to Swamiji, her will and tremendous power to align back to integrity with Swamiji, and that is what makes her unique. Next, we have with us Ma Nithya Mahayashananda, and she is one of the new kids who has come to Gurukul, and just by her space of joy, for any reason, anybody who is along with her, around her, they just experience the joy for any reason, whether it's a nice situation or it's a hard situation, always smiling, always joyful, radiating that joy. And that is what is unique about Ma Nithya Mahayashananda. Next, we have with us Ma Nithya Mayapriyananda, and she is the, let me tell you, whenever Swamiji initiates the Balasans into any power, the first person to crack it and immediately manifest the power is Ma Nithya Mayapriyananda. At such a young age, her ability to understand the great cognitions that Swamiji is revealing during the satsangs and immediately make it as part of her lifestyle, because of which she is manifesting these powers and easily able to put down any huge understanding in just layman terms that anybody will be able to understand. And not just that, at very young age, at this age itself, she has gone and performed various performances, various Sakshi Pramanas to many VIPs in Delhi and all over India. So she is one of the most powerful Balasans who just like that manifests the power as soon as Swamiji says it. And we also have with us, so before we start with the power manifestation, we are going to have a little change where we are going to be combining the physical abilities of the body, the physical possibilities of the body, and the powers of Mahasadashiva. We have with us Ma Nithya Shambhavananda and Sri Nithya Virajananda Maharaj, who are going to be demonstrating to us the Shivastamba blindfolded and the Kundalini Rajju blindfolded. So they are first going to show this, which is a combination of the physical possibilities of the body and the powers of Sadashiva. Let us give a big hand to invite them to start the meeting. The physical possibilities of the body being expressed seamlessly, and you can see it just by the flow. It is not some thing that anybody like professional will be able to do it, but just because of the initiation from Swamiji, they are able to manifest all these possibilities along with the various powers. And noticing that you would see their eyes are blindfolded. So there is no possibility of you knowing what is going to be your next move, because the eyes are completely blindfolded. The only way is to use the powers of Sadashiva and manifest it. So thank you for this wonderful performance by Sri Nithya Vrajananda Maharaj and Manitya Shambhavananda. Let's all give a big applause for the great performance. Now we will be moving on to the next phase, where we will be demonstrating the Shaktis of Mahasadashiva, which Swamiji has initiated us. So today we will be having Sri Nithya Tattvananda Maharaj and Sri Nithya Ajarananda Maharaj manifesting the power of height. And what is the whole science behind playing with the height? Understand, in any field, whether it's wealth, health or anything, it is abundance that makes the difference. Expansion is what is going to keep the wealth or health retained. So you might be able to accumulate wealth. Many of you might have a doubt, I'm accumulating wealth, but nothing is staying in me. It's all just going away. The solution for that is this power. Understanding the cognition of abundance and continuous creation, life continuously expands. So when we play with the power of height, when we switch and play with the height, there is a physical expansion in the body or in the object which they are expanding. So that will immediately transmit into the other person, and they will instantly feel the completion happen, and they will have the abundance in their life. So Tattva Maharaj and Ajara Maharaj are going to be manifesting this power. And we have Sri Nithya Brahmasukhananda Maharaj and Manitya Mayapriyananda manifesting the power of playing with the weight component. Now what is the science behind playing with the weight? Understand, this is a very practically usable thing. Weight is completely dependent on the matter. It has It's the completion of a whole matter. So when somebody is able to alter the weight and play with it, they can change the very quality of it. For example, if you're able to alter the weight of your body, you can guarantee that you will not have any disease. You can raise the temperature anytime you want, you can decrease the temperature anytime you want, and the whole body, you can just, like if you want your muscles to grow big, you can grow it bigger. So the whole thing, your body will be completely free of any disease. So this is the power of playing with the weight. And we have Manitya Shivaparananda, who will be playing with the power of temperature. And this power, now understand, temperature, when a solid becomes liquid, there's a change in the frequency. When the liquid becomes gas, there's again a change in the frequency. Change in matter happens due to temperature. So when we change the temperature of something, you need to understand the thoughts that we have is also matter, the thoughts that we have also has weight. So when we change the temperature of the human body, we alter the negative thoughts that we have and instantly bring completion into any of the fields that is stuck. Whether you have any confusion in any field or anything like that, the moment your temperature changes, the frequency changes and instant completion is brought. So that is going to be expressed by Manitya Shivaparananda. And we have Manitya Mahayeshananda, who will be playing with the power of pulse, changing the pulse. What is so special about changing the pulse? Pulse is directly related to your decisions in the life. If you observe your life, whenever you make a decision, your pulse changes. So if you are scared, you will see your pulse has increased. And if you are agitated, you will have a different pulse rate. When you are calm, you will have a different pulse rate. So settling your pulse rate once for all to be in the space of completion, and when the pulse changes, you will see that automatically the decisions of your life has become only towards positive, and the unknown problems that whether I am taking a right decision or not is all completely vanished. So without any further delay, I now welcome the volunteers. I request a few volunteers from the male side and the female side to come up on the stage where you can witness these powers of Mahasadashiva. And the rest of you who will be sitting down, sit with the deep space of entanglement, and you will see the same mirroring of neurons happen, and you will also be able to manifest these powers in your life. So I now request the volunteers to come up on the either side of the stages. Tattva Maharaj will now be reading out the Shastra Pramana for these powers.
So Nithyanandam, the powers which are related to the height change and weight change are basically the part of the Ashtamaha Shaktis, which is there in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. It is called Anima and Mahima. The Shastra Pramana is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, verse 141. Ajara Marata Meti Sonimadi Duganvitaha Yogini Nam Priyo Devi Sarvamela-pakadhipaha Jivannapi vimuktoso Kurvannapi na lipyate. So now we will be starting the demonstration of the Shaktis.
So I request 3 volunteers from the female side to come forward and 3 volunteers from the male side to come forward. And each of you can stand in front of each Balasant. So what we will be doing now is, we have the gadgets. I request the Nithyananda Yogic Sciences team to come and handle the gadgets, the devices for the power manifestation. So now Manitya Shivaparananda will be, you can go pick up the instrument and come. So Swamiji emphasizes on making the whole thing completely scientifical and foolproof. So we have the latest advancements of the electrical devices which prove the authenticity of each of the powers that are going to be used. So now Manitya Shivaparananda is having a temperature gun which measures the surface temperature of any object or any body. So Ma, you can take the temperature sensor from her. You can take it in your hand. Okay, so you can see it. So it is recorded. You can see it is recorded as 37.7 degrees Celsius. And now Manitya Shivaparananda will start manifesting the power and change in temperature. So all of you get into the space of oneness with Swamiji. In the male side, you can see Sri Nithya Tattvananda Maharaj and Sri Nithya Ajarananda Maharaj playing with the height dimension. Swamiji says that Advaita is not just something which is a mental power or mental state. It is a physical experience. Swamiji does not just teach Advaita, he teaches Shuddha Advaita, where the mental state, the physical, the oneness expresses through the physical body as the powers of Sadashiva. So here each of the balasans have measured the height, the temperature, the pulse rate through the verified machines, and now are expressing the powers. As the balasans are done, each of you can start sharing the powers. So in the boys side, in the male side, both Sri Nithya Ajarananda Maharaj and Sri Nithya Tattvananda Maharaj, both of them have finished manifesting the power and now are going to get the measurements checked again. And we will have the participants themselves confirm the change that has happened in them. So Aya, you please introduce yourself and tell what is the experience that you had and what was the change.
Nithyanandam, I am Ved Prakash from Chhattisgarh. Maharaj increased my height by 3.5 centimeters. Before the power manifestation, it's 161 centimeter, and after that 164.5 centimeter. So it was so amazing and wonderful and unimaginable for me. How can change in few seconds only? Thank you.
Yes, ma. Now you can share what is the difference and what was the earlier temperature reading, what is the next temperature reading, and what you felt. You can share it.
So the earlier temperature reading was 37.7, and while she was actually, just to mention, while she was actually doing it, I already felt that she was reducing the temperature, and the revised one was 29.2. I will request you, what was the change, what was the first height, and after the change, what was the height? பேசுங்க தமிழ்ல சொல்லுங்க.
என் பேர் ரவிக்குமார். நான் பெங்களூர்லேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். முதல்ல சுவாமிஜிக்கு என்ன அனந்த கோட்டையான கோட்டி சாஷ்டாங்க பிரணாமங்கள்னு சொல்கிறேன். முதல்ல என் ஹைட் தத்வானந்த மகாராஜா ஒன்றுக்கு முதல்ல 160 இருந்தது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க பண்ண சக்தி பண்ணும்போது இப்போ 169 இருக்குது.
So Ravikumar Aya is from Tamil Nadu. He just shared that when first Tattva Maharaj, before starting, his height was 160, and after Tattva Maharaj had expressed the power, the height had increased to 169 centimeters high. So that's a significant increase of 9 centimeters. So now Manithya Mahayashananda and Manithya Mayapriyananda, can manifest the powers and demonstrate it. We thank the volunteers who are here up on the stage. Thank you. And we have Srinitya Brahmasukhananda Maharaj with us, who is actually going to be demonstrating the power of increasing the weight of a particular object. Aya, we request you to come up on stage. Come up. Aya, do you have any precious object, like either some ring or something like that, which now what we will be doing is, once we place it, we'll see the weight of the object. After that, Brahmasukha Maharaj will increase the weight or decrease the weight of the object and give it back. Anybody? Yes, ma'am, please come up. So in the ladies side, in the female side, you are seeing that the pulse is now getting measured. Okay. Please, you can take the mic, introduce yourself and say it. Yes, sir, you can place it. So just hold on. So here we have with us Sri Someshwarananda, and he is going to be placing a ring. Okay. Yes, so the weight is 3.34 grams. In the female side, we have Manitya Mayapriyananda, who is going to be doing the same power demonstration. And there we have one volunteer who is going to be placing her bracelet and checking. You can actually place it, ma. First check if the readings are 0. Please take the mic and speak in the mic. So once the 0 is checked, they have placed the object. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Tanishka, and she is increasing, she is varying the weight of the bracelet which I have given to her.
So what is the initial reading, ma?
0.26.
0.26. So now Manitya Mayapriyananda is going to be expressing this power and changing and playing with the weight of the object. And there we have Manitya Mahayashananda. After she has manifested the power, now she is again checking it to check the pulse rate. So ma, you can share in the mic.
It was 82.
You can
now
look at the camera.
It was 82 and now it's 86. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Thank you, ma. Thank you for coming up on stage for volunteering.
So thank you so much.
So how was your experience during the whole thing?
It's unbelievable. You know, I've been here for a while and I'm just amazed. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, ma, you can go ahead and share.
Yeah, so the weight was 0.26, now it is decreased to 0.25.
So you can see that the weight has started decreasing, and actually if you see, it is the ability to manifest change the weight of something. So same way, even in your life, whether you want to change something or anything, just like that you will be able to manifest just because of this thing which has happened now. So we thank you for coming up on stage. With this, we will move on to the next phase of the webinar for today. And today we will be seeing something extraordinary. See, till now we have seen just the preliminary part of the webinar. Now we are going to be having the climax and the most interesting part of the webinar. So get ready for something new. Till then, hold on and stay tuned. We will continue with the webinar.
Children, the initial stage of every life, the age when we start building our cognitions. Our parents taking care of us every moment, giving us the best. As kids, we all looked up to somebody, having an idol. People who inspire us, giving us an ambition in life. These ambitions push us to be at our very best. Even if everyone gets what they dream of, the modern education system runs with so much fear, greed, worry, and competition. It always suppresses the true inner potential of a child. The society we live in does not ensure the right physical, physiological, conscious growth needed for a child is provided. What is the solution for all of this? In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we believe knowledge is free. We provide the purest form of knowledge to every child. The ancient Gurukul system trains every child to be a prodigy and the master of the 64 arts, or known as the 64 KAILASA, keeping the sole purpose of enlightenment as the only priority. Slowly, as British invaders entered the Great Bharat, they corrupted the Gurukul system and replaced it with the modern education system. As Macaulay himself says,
I have traveled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage, and therefore I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture. For if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want, a truly dominated nation.
I have decided to take the responsibility reviving Indian education system. Gurukul provides the atmosphere for the kids to explore physical, mental, psychological, spiritual possibilities and powers. That is why I just explode when I see my sons and daughters jump. The highest level my eyes open up is only when I see my boys jump. I have so much to say about Gurukul. First thing I want to tell, as per Sadashiva's instruction in Agama, I am making not only the Nithyananda Gurukul of the Bengaluru Adinam, all over the world, all our Nithyananda Vidyalaya classes, all the services provided by the Nithyananda Gurukul and the branches which are going to be started are functioning in all extensions of the Gurukul. Nithyananda Gurukul in Bengaluru Adinam and all their extended services as completely free of cost. And I also make this declaration and commitment to Veda Mata, Sanatana Hindu Dharma. By the 15th anniversary, I will make this Gurukul with at least 1,100,000 students. It's my commitment to Veda Mata. It's my commitment to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and 1,00,000 children studying, at least 75,000 balasans.
I'm Alpa Biju from Delhi Public School, Bhopal, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and it's a different experience what I feel over here at Nithyananda Gurukul. We have come over here to work with class 10 students and for strengthening the basics of middle school and primary school. It's completely different experience when we come over here, and the atmosphere is very spiritual, like beyond what we experience from our normal routine life. I felt that the kids have a very good grasping power once they are taught the knowledge. Actually what we heard, that they can download the things and they are able to download the things, and this is something amazing.
As I declared long before, I'll be well known to the world positively for my contribution as Nithyananda Gurukul.
Nithyanandam. So the next segment of our webinar is going to be Akashic reading. So all of you may have a question, what is Akashic reading? So basically in the Akasha, which is space, there is a record of what happened in the past and what is happening now in the present and what is going to happen in the future. And everything is recorded by Lord Kalabhairava, and Lord Kalabhairava is the embodiment of time and space. So when we or anyone unlocks the power of tapping into the space of Kalabhairava and seeing the past, present and future, which are the records which are already recorded, they experience what is called as Akashic reading. That is just reading the records of the past, present and future. And Lord Kalabhairava is the Devata, the deity which is behind this whole Shakti. And Swamiji, who is the embodiment of Kalabhairava himself, has given us the blessing of unlocking this power, and we Balasans are able to see the past, present and future. We just become an empty channel, and Swamiji and Kalabhairava flow into us, and we are able to see the past, present and future in golden letters. And so Sundari Shamaraj, what you got to say?
So what I want to say is, now Tattva Maharaj had actually presented how it feels from a speaker's view. When you read the Akashic readings, how it feels. Like Swamiji said, that it literally feels like 1,000 times myself expressing through the same body. So I want to share how it feels from the receiver side. So this is one of the experiences that happened in my life. And it was one inner awakening that Swamiji had in Kodaikanal. And it was this inner awakening which was very special, because every single day, all the participants of the Kodaikanal Inner Awakening had direct Akashic readings read by Swamiji himself. Every single day they had Kalabhairava Darshan. And one such darshan, all the Balasans got the opportunity to ask one question. And it was the best moment of our life. I say, like during that time in Gurukul, like we all went around what would be the best question that we can ask, what would be the best question. So going around different things, I came up with a question. So what happens in Gurukul is, very recently at that time we had watched a video where the Dalai Lama, once he leaves his body and after the cremation process, when his body is actually burnt. So after that, when they remove the skull, the footprint showing the next direction where the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama is going to happen is there. So that was really striking to me at that point, and I was wondering, what is this thing? How is that after somebody is left their body, how come their footprint is showing the next direction? And really things happen this way, and they go to that direction. There are few more traces that they find, and they locate the Dalai Lama exactly. So when I got this opportunity, this was the first thing that struck my head, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to ask Kalabhairava this very question. So at that time we were here in Bidadi, Bengaluru Adinam, and Swamiji was in Kodaikanal, and we had a two-way video conferencing, and that time it was my chance to ask Kalabhairava, and my question was read out, and I was literally able to see Kalabhairava looking through the camera straight into me. So that itself put me out in some other state. And when the question was asked, Kalabhairava revealed that every incarnation leaves their body in this way only. Not only the Dalai Lamas, but all the incarnations from all traditions leave their mark to show where they are going to reincarnate again. And Kalabhairava said, show your head, I will show you my footprints on your head. That was something. After that, I don't remember of listening something or seeing something. I was completely blacked out with that point. First itself, the look of Kalabhairava was something totally different. And when Kalabhairava was revealing it, I was in some other state. And finally when he closed with telling that, show your head, I will show you my footprints on your head, I was completely out of this space. So actually after that, the Kalabhairava readings, the Akashic readings got over. Then the people from the Nithyananda Gurukul, immediately, it was like evening already, so immediately we rushed to the barber shop in the local area, got my head shaved, and I came back, and people were physically able to see the footprints of Kalabhairava on my head.